Hello everyone, my name is Adam and this is Fighting Fantasy. Welcome to the Fighting Fantasy series. This is series 2. This is the digital series. If you're coming in for the first time, I'm going to put a link below to check out and watch the first intro of this. But this is our very first adventure, guys. So basically, most of our adventures will happen within this app here. A lot of books are already locked off to us that we can't actually read. But there'll also be a sorcery series and a few other books that we don't see here, I think in another app. But we're going to start our adventure with Bloodbones. See what Bloodbones has to offer us. So, Bloodbones, the dreaded pirate lord Cinnabar. Bloodbones to those who feared him, was once the scourge of the 12 seas. Now he is back from the dead, seeking revenge with the dark powers of voodoo at his command. But you have the revenge of your own on your mind. Cinnabar murdered your family when you were a child, and only you can prevent a new reign of terror by destroying the pirate captain and its crew of cutthroats. Come hell or high water, Bloodbones must be stopped. So, this book is by author Jonathan Green, who is a great fighting fantasy writer, and he also writes his own adventures. Go check him out. I'll put a link to him on Amazon in the description box below. So, yeah, Bloodbones. I really quite like this adventure. I think it's ace. It's a really fun one. It reminds me a lot of Pirates of the Caribbean. So, Bloodbones Fighting Fantasy game book, interactive adventure, in which you are the hero. You are the hero, not me. You. But it's me because I'm reading this. But we are the heroes. And before embarking on your adventure, you must first determine your own strengths and weaknesses with a series of dice rolls. So we've got stamina, we've got skill, and we've got luck. Before making your rolls, you must choose from one of the 3 difficulty settings. So we've got difficulty. So already the digital series is more complicated than the book. The book, by the way, is I've got it on the shelf there. So the adventurer series version you've got. For experienced readers already familiar with printed versions of this game book, we have hardcore hero mode as well. You can play with altered stats. Okay. If you have beaten Bloodbones in adventure before, test your courage in the Port of Crabs. Port of Crabs, man! I've got a cream that can help you with that. With the ultimate challenge. Or free read. Play Bloodbones like an old school cheater. Mate, they know you cheat. And free read mode, you roll your character exactly the same way you would in adventurer mode, but are given 3 extra options to help easily negotiate your way through the book. Rewind, free choice, and heal. Do you know what? We won't be doing that. We're just going to go with our regular adventure mode. So, what have we got here? Before continuing, you must calculate your stamina. So, if you're new to this, if you're watching this for the first time and never heard of Fighting Fantasy, basically you have 3 stats. You have your skill, your stamina, and your luck. And you have to kind of roll dice when you have the printed book version, which let me just quickly show you for just being a completist here. That's going to fall. Anyway. So that's the book there. This book is pretty cool because there are dice at the bottom of the page in case you don't have any. But what you would do is you would just roll some dice and it would give you your number and you go, right, there we go. But on the digital version, I think, I haven't tried it yet, but I think it's going to roll dice for us, which is pretty cool. So you must roll 2 dice and add 12 for your stamina. So, okay, so your skill basically. You want to determine your skill. Why can't we determine my skill? I've already done it or something. Well, I haven't, so why can't I push skill? It's a no-go. Oh, because you got to do your stamina first, right? Okay, that's Okay, in the book you can do whichever way you like. So your skill basically is how good are you with your weapon or any task in the book that's going to ask you to complete. Your stamina is how much can you take. How much can you take before getting back up, you know, as Rocky would say. And then of course your luck is how lucky you were. So let's roll our stamina. Hey, the dice come up on the screen. So you roll a 4 plus a base of 12, means your stamina is 16. 16 is okay. It's an average. It's just your middle ground average one. Now we can roll our skill. That's weird. Usually it's skill first. So there we go. So yeah, your skill reflects your swordsmanship and general fighting expertise. The higher, the better. And your skill is determined by rolling 1 die and adding 6 to the number. Do you know what? For the skill, I've always just rolled 2 dice. You know, so that's 8 right there. That's 10. That's 4, you know. And that's the way I've always done my skill. But in the books, it does ask you to roll 1 die and add 6 to the thing. So let's roll our dice and see what we get. Oh, we've got 7. Guys, that is rubbish. So we're basically a weakling with an average stamina, and that's not going to really help us in a fight. So now we've got to do our luck. This isn't going to go well, guys. So luck and magic are facts of life in the fantasy world that you're about to explore. And every time you test your luck, and the book will instruct you for that, you must deduct 1 from your luck score. Because the more you rely on your luck, the quicker it'll run out. That's the theory. So we've got a 3, which means we've got 9. A luck of 9 is okay. We're basically the most average person you could think of, okay? Now we get to determine our number of gold pieces. That's a first. I've never heard of that one. So the amount of gold pieces in your possession is determined by rolling 2 dice and adding 12 to that number. This is then entered in the gold pieces box. So here we go. How much money have we got? 7. We've got 19 gold pieces. There it is. Okay. Now we must prepare your adventurer's equipment. Now we get to choose our equipment or roll the dice for it. So we begin our adventure with a sword, a backpack, a tinderbox app. Tinderbox, sorry, not a name, no app. Gold pieces and a lantern to light your way. Rationing your provisions is key to a successful adventure. They may be consumed at any time, excluding combat. So, I mean, if we want to, we can swallow our sword. By accessing the adventure sheet, each meal restores 4 stamina. Be sure to pay close attention to your stamina and restore it regularly. So if we let it drop too low, we're going to be too weak to fight. So once you've readied your equipment, there's one more thing you should know. Right, what is that? During the adventure, you'll notice that hours will pass at key points, usually when you've been doing something for a considerable length of time. Now, for me, I read this when I was going through all my adventure books in the first series of Fighting Fantasy. I've actually forgotten all about the story of this. I'm sure it'll come flooding back once we start. And I think we start in Port Blacksand in a pub. But, yeah. This is going to be like a new look at it for me, you know. This is very important as it will become apparent as your adventure progresses. Try not to allow too many hours to pass. It all started 10 years ago when the evil pirate Lord Cinnabar murdered your family. At the time, you were only 12 years old and lived with your family in the small fishing village of Clam Beach on the northern coast of Riddlestone. Halfway between the 2 major ports of the kingdom, Harabnab, home to all lawful adventurers and sailors, and the sinister port of Crabs. You were itching to leave. Life in Calm Beach was not easy, but it did have a peaceful security about it. And then the terrible day came. It was a clear summer day and warming when the huge forbidding black galleon sailed into the bay. Warming, by the way, is a month. If you check out the Titan book, it tells you all about the calendar. And to be honest, there's very few adventure books that addressed the calendar in Titan that was been laid out. But kudos for Jonathan Green for actually introducing that. They sailed into the bay, flying the dreaded flag of the Skull and Crossbones. Pirates.
The bloodthirsty cutthroats were soon racing up the beach towards the village. The fighting was swift and bloody. Soon most of the grown folk of Clam Beach had been killed, your father and 2 siblings dying while trying to defend the village. In the end, the village elders had no choice but to surrender to the marauding raiders and open the village's meager treasure coffers. The cruel pirate captain came ashore from the ship to collect the booty himself. The sight of him fulfilled you with awe and fear. The pirate was a tall, handsome man with a neatly trimmed, black-pointed beard and his hair tied back in a mantail. What? He was dressed in the clothes of a nobleman, with a fine scarlet coat, trimmed with gold braid, and wearing a large tricorn hat. At his waist hung a gleaming cutlass, and you could not help noticing that on the back of his right hand was tattooed the image of a grinning black skull. When the raiders had finally gone, filled with feelings of hatred for those who had murdered your family, you asked Ragai, the village soothsayer, who the pirate captain was. Who's the pirate captain?
That villain is one of the most evil men ever to sail the 12 seas of Titan,
was his vehement reply.
He is one of the most feared pirate lords of our age, a creature without remorse, a murderer, and a follower of the bloodthirsty voodoo death god Quizcari, whose mark is the black skull. He is Cinnabar, but because of the terrible atrocities he commits, he is also known as Bloodbones. From that moment you vowed that one day you would have your revenge on the evil Cinnabar. And there we go. We can start the adventure. Your mother became so ill after the dreadful day, and 3 years later she died. Like, she hung on there. On your 16th birthday, you left Clam Beach and made your way to Harabnab, gaining the position of cabin boy on a ship traveling to the distant continent of Alancia. For the last 6 years, you have sailed all across the globe, but you never forgot the promise you made to yourself a decade ago. Over many voyages, you have tried to learn as much as you can about the rogue captain. You discovered that Cinnabar's galleon, the Virago, is frequently seen sailing in the waters around Nankunu Bay, and that he has a hidden base somewhere close to the port of Crabs that you're itching to go to. You also gleaned as much information as you could about the notorious city. And so, when you decided that you were at least ready to confront your enemy, and the chance of passage on a merchant ship sailing to the port of Crabs came up, you leapt at that opportunity. Vengeance, you are sure, will soon be yours. The Port of Crabs is haven to every pirate, buccaneer, and freebooter who ply their trade off the coast of the kingdom of Ruddlestone in the old world. As you stand at the prow of the merchantman, looking towards the land, you can make out the ramshackle jumble of buildings of the infamous city, and the outline of the old fort that stands above it like some ancient crumbling sentinel. The merchantman bumps against the stone jetty, and you quickly disembark. Not only is the Port of Crabs one of the most dangerous cities in the old world, but a thick fog is starting to roll in from the sea. It is late afternoon on a chill day in the month of unlocking, and the docks are bustling with activity. Standing close to the quayside is a large old stone building, which looks like it could withstand a battering from Haidana, god of the deep, another person from the Titan books. Hanging over its sturdy oak door is a faded sign declaring that this is the Jolly Roger. This seems as good a place as any to begin your search for Cinnabar, so you enter the inn. So you enter the inn. Right, click that. The spacious bar inside the Jolly Roger is packed with all manner of scurvy-looking sailors and other lowlifes. The landlord is a big as an ox and has a large anchor, oh hello, tattooed on one arm. Right, okay. No one takes any notice of you as you enter, so you approach the bar and order a tankard of ale, costing 1 gold piece. You decide to question the landlord about Cinnabar first. Over your tankard of ale, you talk about the weather and the state of trade, and then draw the innkeeper onto the subject of the pirate you seek. I hear the Virago plies these waters, you say. I'm surprised we weren't attacked ourselves.
Not anymore, it doesn't, the landlord replies. Have you not heard? Cinnabar has been dead these last 6 months.
Cinnabar dead? You came all this way, all for nothing? After all these years of harbouring desires for revenge, only to find that the dread pirate lord has already passed away from this world? End of story. Bye-bye. You ask the landlord how he died.
Have you not heard? I would have thought that everyone as far as the Diamond Islands would know by now. It all happened last hiding.
You listen attentively as the innkeeper relates the tale. It appears that Cinnabar and his crew were emptying the hold of a galley sailing from Harabnab to Arkleton in distant Ainaland, where the renowned bounty hunter Conwyn caught up them in his ship, the Fortune, not the slave trader, the Fortune. Unable to escape, Cinnabar and his men had to defend themselves against the crews of the galley and the Conwyn. Fierce fighting ensued, with Cinnabar eventually failing at Conwyn's hand, having suffered an incredible number of wounds. His body being lost to sea, with their leader killed, the surviving members of his crew fled aboard the Virago, returning to the port of Crabs. Soon after, Cinnabar's second-in-command, Myrrel the Red, set off in the Virago amid terrible storms, purportedly to recover her captain's body. The names of these things, do you know what I mean? They do make it, you know, they are inventive, let's say that.
Many now believe that the pirate lord's galleon sank, as it has not been seen since,
the landlord says, concluding his story. You thank him for his help, and in a bewildered daze you make to leave the inn. You console yourself with the thought that at least the murderer of your family has at last been brought to justice. And as you leave the Jolly Roger, you feel someone pulling at your jerkin. Turning around, you discover that an old drunk slumped at a table by himself is the one trying to attract your attention. Just because he's dead does not mean he's at rest, mutters the drunk. Curious about the drunk's words, you sit down opposite the old man and ask him what he means. Well, let's just say you don't want to go believing everything you hear, but I know what's going on. Oh, yes, the old Dregnose Cinnabar isn't really dead, see? And he's coming back. The old man says in a harsh whisper. Intrigued, you press Dreg to tell you more, but he suddenly becomes serious and looks around the bar room. Not here. Meet me outside in 10 minutes. And you nod in agreement and leave the Jolly Roger. Do you know what, mate? I deserve to die if I go over. And now turn over. That's the beginning. I thought we'd already gotten into the story. Holy moly. Mate. I thought we were already into the story. Who's these three people here? Oh, see, they're going to kill me already. Tendrils of fog are now swirling around the boats in the harbour and oozing along the streets of the town. When the 10 minutes are up, you quickly return to the Jolly Roger and sneak down the side alley next to it. In the mist and shadows at the end of the narrow alleyway, you can make out 3 figures standing over a 4th, cowering on the ground at their feet. Wasting no time, you draw your sword and dash towards them. I need a sword, man. You draw your sword. Use this incense stick.
You draw your sword, ha, and dash towards them. Hearing your approach, the three pirates turn to face you. The burly characters are ugly, scarred rogues, and the biggest of them, who is easily wielding a heavy wooden club, let's see here, which is this dude here, who actually looks like the smallest. Okay, he's also got a club. Hang on, they've all got clubs, mate. So it's got to be this dude here. He's got a club as well. And he's also holding a bullwhip in the other. Looks as if he has some ogre blood in his lineage. At the pirate's feet, it lies Dreg. Beaten, bruised, and only just conscious. Oh, Dreg, mates.
Here's the snooper,
Growls the half-ogre.
you're no match for us. By the time we've finished with you, you'll be feeding the shrimps. Or rather, the shrimps will be feeding on you.
I need some water. The other two pirates burst into coarse laughter at their companion's joke. Yeah, you're the first bit. That's supposed to be Shrek, by the way. Still laughing, the ruffians advance towards you. Apart from the half-ogre, there is a well-beaten bearded man, missing most of his teeth, and a leaner rogue with the two ugly red scars running down the right side of his face. You may be about to engage in your first fighting fantasy battle. Bring it on. Would you like to know more about how combat works? Do you know what? Because this is the first time, and you know, if you're watching for the first time, we will go through it. So, when you begin a battle in Fighting Fantasy Classics, your adventure sheet will appear at the bottom of the screen, displaying your stamina, skill, and luck stats. And above this, the monster encounter sheet will appear, displaying the stamina and skill of your foe. Battles are resolved by rolling two six-sided dice for both you and your enemy, and adding the result of the roll to the respective skill score. And this is called your attack strength. Both sets of dice are rolled at the same time. Your dice are white and your opponent's dice are red. If your attack strength is higher, you have wounded your foe, causing 2 points of damage to them. If the enemy's attack strength is higher, it has wounded you, causing 2 points of stamina damage. If they both come out equal, then you've just like basically either avoided the blow or you've both clashed at the same time and taken no damage either. So it's a draw. And after hitting your opponent or taking stamina damage, you may use your luck to then inflict more wounds on your enemy, or to minimize what you get. To do this, you select the luck button, which will roll 2 green dice. And if the number rolled is equal to or less than your current luck score, you've been lucky. If the number rolled is higher than your current luck score, you've been unlucky. If you are attacking and you are lucky, you have inflicted a severe wound and the enemy loses another 2 stamina points. But if you're unlucky, then he only loses 1. So he loses some either way, to be honest. So depending on how much luck you have, it could be advantageous. If you have been wounded and are lucky, you've managed to avoid the full damage and you only lose 1. Conversely, if you've been unlucky, you actually lose an extra point, which means you will have lost 3 points of stamina. Your luck score decreases by 1 point each time you lose it, or use it, you know. Sometimes you'll have the option to escape combat, and if you choose to escape, your foe automatically scores a hit against you, causing 2 stamina points of damage. So if you run, you win the fight, but you just take 2 points of damage. So that's good if we get down to like 4, and then we just leg it. Battles will continue round by round until somebody dies, basically. Let's get back to the situation at hand. How will you deal with the ruffians stopping menacingly towards you? Do we charge one of the pirates, or stand firm and prepare to fight the rogues? Right, let's stand firm, man. Let's do it. Time to fight! Let them fight. Swinging their cudgers, the pirates engage you in combat. It's time to fight. Oh, yes! Hear that? I'll whack it up. Anyway, right, fight. So, rolling. Tap to continue. Oh,
We got him. We got him. You hit the first pirates. Like that. Fight. Rolling. Tap to continue. Oh, fight. First pirate hits you. Ah. Fight. See, I don't like this because if the computer wants to kill me, it'll kill me. If it wants to keep me alive, it'll keep me alive. We get the pirate. You've defeated the first pirate. Now you must face the second pirate. Fight. Oh, they burn us. Fight. 15, 13. We're going to kill them. We're going to kill them. Fight. So you just click the buttons, basically. Oh, roll to draw. Fight. Tap to continue. Oh, no. We're going down to... We're going down. Fight. We've still got 10 stamina, so we're all right. We're good. We're going to kill them now. We're going to kill them. They're dead. Hey, we triumph! I have the power! Mate. He-Man. That's it, guys. We done it. Right, so there we go. You defeat these violent scoundrels. The half-ogre steps forward to fight you. Will you face your opponent or try to escape? Mate, we've just killed 2 of his mates. We're Johnny Big Bollocks. We're going to take him on. Fight! Oh, he's got us. He's got us. Ah! He's got us. He's bigger. Half ogre, though. Come on, he's only half. Fight! Oh, he's got us again. He's at us again. He's going to do us again. Fight! Come on, we can do this. We got 6 stamina, so we've got another 3 rounds in us at least. Oh, he's at us again, man. Is this a losing battle? He's only got a skill of 8. Oh, we've got a skill of 7. Oh, man, we have to fight! Fight to the death, man, I say. Fight to the death. Oh, he's going to have us. He's going to have us. Mate, can we not escape? Where's the escape button? Seriously, this could be our last fight, guys. Where's the escape button? Height! Oh, he's at us. He's at us. Ah! We've been overcome by our enemies. Ouch. Right, we lose, mate. That's it. You were dead. You will never have your revenge against Cinnabar, who possibly is dead anyway. So that was lucky. Oh, mate. We honestly, that's it. We could not do it. Bloodbones. Oh. Do you know what? Forget it. Forget it, mate. Well, there we go. We will try this adventure maybe again in the future, but the next one we're going to do is we're going to start the sorcery series and have a look at that, and we're going to start the adventure going forth. And then once we complete those 4 books, we will come back and we will open up these and we will try again. Okay? I want to thank you for watching, and stay tuned for next Sunday when we go into Steve Jackson's sorcery. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.